Welcome back to another edition of Camps Chats on the Farm. A few weeks back, I had a friend of mine contact me and give me a suggestion for a topic. And he wanted me to talk about going after your dreams or going after your goals and not sitting around waiting for those things to kind of happen. And I had to give it a little time and think about it, and some things came to me. And I really feel like that this is going to blend with the few different areas that I've recently dealt with. There's no secret sauce out there. If you want something, it usually, especially if it's something important, it requires a lot of hard work and effort, individual effort. And we can all think back to a time that we put our heart and soul into something, and maybe it didn't work out the way we wanted. And then we look back and we could see areas that we could have improved. But in the moment, it's so deflating, it's hard to imagine, right? So the person he's talking about is looking to get into the fire service. And he was trying to inspire him and motivate him to get on out there and get your EMT. And it made me think back to whenever I decided to go down that path out of the Air Force. And I realized it was going to be a very difficult course because I knew nothing about firefighting. And so I started calling around asking people, and they were like, well, you need to have your EMT basic, and then you need to have some experience. And so that's what I did. I started with volunteer work, and then I went and got my EMT basic. And then eventually I went on to paramedic school. It took me 3 years to get on Memphis Fire. That was my dream, that was my goal. I worked really hard to get there. It took me 3 years. It has taken some people longer. But the point of the matter is, if it's something you truly want, something you truly desire, then you need to exhaust all avenues. And I realize sometimes you may do that and you don't achieve your goals still. But the reality is this: if it's anything worth fighting for, if it's anything worth achieving, it's gonna take hard work. This past week, some of my players on my softball team, and then I know several other players that have tried out for other sports, this was a tough week for some because they had some cuts come up and they didn't make the cut. And they were very deflated by this, and just they felt like, what's the point, right? Well, here's what I would tell you. The point is this: if you love it and you want it, don't quit fighting for it. Just means you need to work a little tougher. You need to go a little harder. In high school, I love baseball. I love baseball. Anybody knows me, I love baseball. In high school, my 9th grade year, I took for granted that I was good enough. I accepted the fact that I had played my whole life and that I should just be on the team. 9th grade year, I had a little wake-up call. I didn't make the team, and it was very deflating. But see, instead of letting that become water, I used that as gasoline. And that's what you got to do. Whenever you have a setback or a failure and it's something you want, use it as gasoline, baby. Light that match. Get back after it. I came back my 10th grade year. I made the ball team. Here's what I want you kids to know. Here's what I want anyone to know: that if they're going after a job or they're going after a particular sport, you got to put everything into it. And you have to adjust, and you have to work hard. All these past week's speeches have led up to this moment, actually, in a lot of ways. You know, a lot of times when you're going for your goals, you take your eyes off your goals, you start to see the obstacles. You start to see all the ways that you're not going to achieve whatever that is. Keep your eyes on the goals. Keep fighting for those goals. Every single day you wake up, make it a point that you're going to go after those goals. You're going to do something to grow you just a little bit more today than you were yesterday. Keep growing, keep working, and keep doing what you need to do to achieve those things you want. Don't sit back and wait for somebody to give it to you, baby. Ain't nobody walking up to you saying, hey, here you go, silver spoon. I know some of you right now are thinking, oh, that's not actually true. Some people will hand stuff to you. Not if it's worth having, baby. Not if it's worth having. If it's worth having, it's worth working for. Get you some. Thank y'all for helping me out. We're going to pick out some good logos. I got some big stuff happening, baby. Big stuff. I'm looking forward to it. Let's get that viewership back up. Let's hit some like buttons. Let's do a little share action. Let's check out the YouTube channel and do a little subscription. On the Chris Camp. Coach Camp. Motivation Mondays, baby. See y'all next week.